Okay. How's everyone doing today? No, wait. How is everyone doing today? Good, good. How many people came here to learn how to make money?
Yes.
Now, how many people came here to make a lot of money?
Yes.
Is that better? Well, I flew all the way from the US, and boy, are my arms tired, right? Actually, something did happen on the way here on my trip. Do you ever notice somehow you arrive before your baggage does? That's what well, can we see the screen for a second? That's how I normally look like, besides the PowerPoint problem. And we'll just put don't send. This is what it normally look like when I have a suit, when my baggage arrives. But my baggage should be here right about now. So it's up in my room waiting for me. But what we're going to do today is we're going to show you a couple different things. We're going to show you how to make a product, and we're going to teach you secret strategies in order for you to do that. Is that okay? Now, the best part is with absolutely no experience. How many people right here now are qualified? Okay, there's no experience required. How many people are qualified? Raise your hand. Everybody, right? Well, let's talk about this. First of all, Napoleon Hill. How many people have heard of Napoleon Hill? Napoleon Hill created one of the best success books ever created, Think and Grow Rich. Has everyone read that book? If you haven't, you need to run down to the bookstore, pick up that book, because you will learn more about the principles of success than any other book out there. And he discovered, after interviewing the wealthiest people in the world, that there's 17 different wealth principles that you need to apply to your life and your business. Now, there's 5 most important of these principles. That's what we're going to talk about right now. So you want to write these down. The first principle is this. You have to have a burning desire to succeed. Does everyone have that? Yes. I mean, you have to absolutely want it. You have to go to bed at night thinking about it. In fact, if you're here this week and you didn't go to bed at night, but you still thought about it, right? Because I understand, I know Jamie goes a long, long days. You know, and the best part is, you know, a guy told me one time, he makes, in fact, this person makes $1 million every 17 hours. Is that good or is that good? It's great. Well, this person makes $1 million every 17 hours, and he told me this. He said, if you want to make money, then you work your job from 9 to 5, and that's when you make a living. When you get rich is after midnight. Think about that for a second. Now, myself, I don't go by a clock. You know why clocks are no good to you? Because clocks just kind of dictate what everyone else says you should work. People with jobs dictate what a clock says, right? You should go to work between 9 and 5. Why? Because what? That means nothing. It's daylight somewhere in the world at midnight. In fact, at midnight here, it's daylight back home where I am. But you have to have a burning desire. See, clocks don't matter. You wake up when you want to, and I have a very simple philosophy when it comes to work and when it comes to waking up and going to sleep. I go to bed when I'm tired, and I wake up when I'm not. Is that pretty simple? I think it's pretty easy for me, but you have to have a burning desire. You have to have specialized knowledge. Would you want your auto mechanic to work on your husband with his heart problem? Well, depending on how well you liked your husband, right? But you have to have specialized knowledge. Without specialized knowledge, it means nothing. You see, you could be the most successful business person offline, but yet when you get online, you have to admit to yourself that you know absolutely nothing. You see, the one thing that I learned, the one principle that I learned when I first got on the internet is that I knew nothing about online. I knew nothing about internet business. And I had to sell out. And what I mean by sell out is I had to forget everything that I thought I knew about marketing and learn what specifically worked on the internet. Does that make sense? And so you need to totally sell out, and you need specialized knowledge. You need goals. You need to know where you are going. But most importantly, there's a reverse part of that he didn't include, and I'm going to tell you right now, is that you need to know where you are right now. Meaning, how much money did you make last year? How much money did you make yesterday? How much money did you make in the last 3 years? You have to go backwards first. Now that you know the information where you were, where you've been, Now you can track that to find out where you want to be. For some of you, it may be making an extra $300 a month. For some of you, it may be making an extra $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. And some of you may be wanting to make $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $400,000, $500,000 a month. Is that good? How many people really want to make that? I mean, really want to make that. Because it also requires some sacrifice. It requires some work. Work is not a four-letter word. Work is something that you have to do in order to get the job done. But the best part is, it doesn't have to be you doing the work. Does that make sense? Well, that's what we want to start with. We want to start with a goal. You have to be decisive in nature. You see, the one thing that he found out is after interviewing 25,000 of these wealthy people is that being decisive in nature was the one key ingredient that they rated as number one. See, if you see an opportunity, when should you get involved in the opportunity, now or later? Now, because sometimes timing is of the essence. Wouldn't you agree? Sometimes waiting. Let me tell you a story. When I was 19 years old, I had this brilliant idea. I was going to start a nightclub. What 19-year-old boy wouldn't want to start their own nightclub? Because you'd find 19-year-old girls, right? And if you own the club, your odds were that much better in finding a girl. So I had this brilliant idea. So I worked 3 weeks on this idea. Now, first of all, I had no money. That was one small problem. And the club was $2 million. Okay? Small problem. But I found out that this guy wanted to get rid of this club, and he was willing to sell it for $500,000. Is that a good deal? I thought so. So what I did was I started calling around. You know these opportunity magazines? I started flipping through these opportunity magazines where I said in the back, money to loan. I called everybody and found one guy that said, well, if the property is worth $2 million and they only want $500,000, we will give you a loan based upon the real estate value of the property. So I thought that was pretty good. They said, all you have to do is get someone to run it. Well, I happened to have a friend of mine that was experienced in running nightclubs and had run several multi-million-dollar nightclubs before. Pretty good? Well, I had a partner. And me and this partner argued for 10 minutes back and forth who was going to call the owner of this club and make the proposal. Well, finally, he won. I called. And the words were this: 10 minutes ago, we just sold that nightclub. And we're going to get paid in 6 months from that nightclub. I said, well, I'll pay you in 3 months. He says, well, I already signed the contract. So now, that's everyone. So needless to say, I didn't make my millions on that deal. But if I was been more decisive in nature and finding out, making that decision just to do it, just to go ahead and go through with it, I would have had that nightclub. And I would have had that 19-year-old girl. Or maybe several. But mentoring. You see, you don't know everything. I don't know everything. Jamie doesn't know everything. None of the other speakers you see on the stage knows everything. Nobody does. You have to have a mentor. I have mentors. I have people that I've paid a lot of money to, $25,000, $30,000 a year, just to learn what they know on different aspects of my life. And it's worth it. Why? Because there's two ways. You can do it yourself and go through all the trial and error in trying to do it, or you can have, as one of my mentors, John Childer, says, you can buy your way in. Doesn't that make a lot more sense? Do you want to wait years or do you want to wait weeks? Years or weeks? Weeks. I'd rather make money days, hours. You see me after. But have I got a package for you? But you have to have a mentor, someone that knows what they're doing so you don't make the mistakes. So remember those things. Those are the things that will guide you through. Those are the things that guide me through each and every time. You have to think outside the box. You see, when you came here today, how many people think the same way as they did a few days ago? I hope not, or else you haven't been listening to anybody. The whole point of this weekend is to change the way you're thinking, is to not look at things the same way. Here's a simple story. You have to expand your mind. Expand it. Many of you have done this already. And things are not always what they seem. So you have to look in between the lines a little bit as well, too. Write this example down. A man in the kangaroo business dies. He was from Australia. He was in the kangaroo business. He wasn't from LA, but he was in the kangaroo business and he dies. He had 17 different kangaroos when he died. He had this kangaroo farm. He gave half of his inventory to his first son, a third to his second son, and then he gave the ninth of his business to his third son. Okay, now think about that. He gave half his business to his first son, a third to his second son, and that leaves 1/9 to the third son. Now, that doesn't work with 17 kangaroos. How can you give a third of a kangaroo and keep it alive to a son? You really can't. It's like, oh, here's a kangaroo steak, you know? I mean, that's about it. He gave 1/9 to the third son. So how can we make this work? Well, turns out that he had a friend of his. Friend came over, and he comes to help. The friend gives him a kangaroo. So now the sons have, what? 18 kangaroos, correct? So now, half of 18 is 9, right? A third of 18 is 6. 1/9 of 18 is 2. That makes 17, and the friend still gets to keep his kangaroo. Does that really make sense? It doesn't make sense. But if you think outside the box, things will become much more clear to you. Here's what we're going to cover today. How do you want to make money? We're going to discover that. We're going to discover how you get paid. Okay, because this is pretty important. Some of you may not know this. Traditional product development. You see, everything that anyone's taught you this weekend about marketing means absolutely nothing unless you have a product, right? You have to have a product that you can market. We're going to talk about getting a $1 billion partner, a partner that's worth $1 billion and more and growing, and how you can use them as your partner. We're going to talk about instant product aggregators. I'll explain more about that. Private label profits, which some of you have an inkling about. And we're going to talk about real estate, but not in the same way that anyone's ever talked to you about real estate ever before. We're going to talk about real estate as a product, and you'll see what I mean as we continue. And then we're going to talk about a little bit about instant traffic generation as well. How do you want to make money? Fast or slow? Fast. Hard or easy? Lot or little? Makes sense. How many people answered fast? Raise your hand. How many people answered easy? How many people answered a lot? How many people answered a lot? Okay. You need an IBG. IBG stands for, write this down, an instant business generator. Instant business generator. Okay, that's what you need. You need something that's going to create cash, not later, not tomorrow, not next week, not a year from now, not 2-3 years from now. I want something that's going to make me money today. How many people want something that's going to make them money today? Today is the key. Because the faster you start making money on the internet, the more belief that you're going to have that you can make money on the internet. How many people currently have an internet business right now? Now, everyone look around. Raise your hands. Everyone look around. See how many people have an internet business? Now, those people that have the internet business, keep your hands up. Now watch this. How many people make a lot of money with their internet business? Okay, that's why we're here this weekend. This guy still makes a lot of money. So we'll talk later too. But that's why you need an internet business. Traditional product development, here's what happens. I am an expert at product development. In fact, I have created a lot of products that produce literally millions of dollars a year in business. And we're going to show you a little bit about that. But the most important thing that I learned when I developed these products is this. You want to write this down. You only get paid for results. You see, I am not emotionally attached to any single one of my businesses. Some of you may be beating a dead horse right now. You may have a business that you have this, it's great, it's awesome, I love this business, but you're not making any money with the business. So does it make sense to keep having it? No. If you had a car that would just sat in the driveway, it looked pretty, it smelled good, but there was no motor in it, and you couldn't drive anywhere, is it still a car? No, it's called a decoration. It's not a car any longer. It doesn't take you from point A to point B. So sometimes you got to know when to cut your loose ends and just get rid of it and start over again. And so we only get paid for results, so keep that in mind. We only do it, what's the purpose of a business? To make money. If it doesn't make money, what is it? It's a hobby, right? A hobby is something you do for fun. You know, in most businesses and most people, other businesses, I have fun in my businesses, all of them. If I don't have fun in those businesses, I get rid of them whether they're making money or not. And because when it comes to a job, I don't want a job. That's why I stopped working for other people, right? You guys don't want to work something that's hard, do you? You already said that. You want to work something that's easy, that's fun, that you like to do, right? That's what we're doing for. I discovered this too, is that the more money you make at a business, the more you like it. Does that make sense? It just kind of happens that way. I don't know why. But it doesn't have to be your product when it comes to product development. Remember, it doesn't have to be your product. You don't have to create it. See, some of you may be thinking, well, I'm a real creative person, and that's great. I'm happy for you. But remember, don't let your creativity stand in the way of you making money. You see, I'm pretty creative, or at least I like to think of myself as being creative, but yet I don't think that I have to create everything, because I don't. I can shortcut it. I don't have to invent it. That's another key point. And you don't have to hit a home run. You know, honestly, I mean, when I first started on the internet, you know, you heard a little story. I made $4.2 million in 12 weeks. Is that pretty good? I thought so. And it wasn't a happy story, though. Here's what happened. Is at the end of that 12 weeks, and why it only lasted 12 weeks, was because of this. I got a phone call from my merchant account company, the people that process my credit cards, and they said, Mr. Morin, you've processed too much money in too short a period of time. So we need to take away your merchant account, and we need to take $2 million from you too. So they took $2 million away and held it for 6 months. Pretty shocking. In fact, they didn't even have $2 million. They went into my bank account and took out what they didn't have out of my bank account. Is that pretty rough? How many people feel sorry for me? Remember, I still had $2 million, so I wasn't that bad off. But here's what happened. Here's what I learned from that, though. That was the best thing that ever happened to me, because that introduced me to the real world of internet marketing. It made me think. In fact, it forced me to seek out places that allowed me to process credit cards without a merchant account. And you know what I found out? Is that there's a lot of other people looking for places that wanted to know how to process on the internet without a merchant account. So you know what I did? I put together an ebook, and I sold that information that I did all that research for. And that was my first, what I call real internet marketing product. And why I say it's real internet marketing product is because it was based on a scientific system that I just reproduced that same thing over and over and over and over again. Do you see what I mean? Now that book, to this day, still makes me over $27,000 a year. And that was almost 10 years ago. $27,000 a year from one ebook that I sell for $19.95. So do ebooks sell? I can tell you they do. But you don't have to hit a home run. You see, what if you had a website right now that only made $300 or $400 a month? Is that good? And that you didn't have to do any work on? Is that better? And that you don't have to do customer support on? Is it getting better? What if you just put it up and forgot about it? And it still makes you money. That's the other part. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Now, what if you had 10 of those websites? What if you had 20? What if you had 50 of those websites, all making $400 a month? How much money is that? It's a lot of money, any way you look at it. I don't care where you live, it's a lot of money, especially if you don't have to do a lot of work for it, right? That's what I mean, not having to hit a home run. You don't have to produce $1 million website. In fact, most people that I know that do over $1 million a year in internet business do not have one website. They have multiple websites. Do you see what I mean? You have to diversify yourself. So don't look for a home run. Here's the question. Is $5,000 a lot of money? Yes, it is, right? Well, let me ask you this. If you could take $5,000 and you could make $250,000 from that $5,000, is the $5,000 a lot of money? Depends on how you look at it, right? It's what your money is doing for you. What is it working for you? Now, how many people would like to earn an extra $5,000 a month? Extra $5,000 a month. You see, what happens is this. Without HTML knowledge, sound better? Without a website, better? Without a domain name, better? Without experience, better? Without years of trial and error. I can't make this much more easier for you guys. Oh, wait, I'll just give you the $5,000 now and let's just get it over with. Without spending thousands of dollars, better? For less than $200 US. Is that good? Okay, that's what we're going to talk about. You can make money online. Here's my stats. I did this today before I came down. This is what I made in the last 11 days with my product sales. It's $28,382. Because people are wondering, how much money do you really make online? That's just from, I have to also tell you, I own 20 different businesses. That's just from one portion of my business. So let's talk about this. This is my in the month of May. This is just my software. $115,616. That's from my software business. April, from my merchant account. $455,752. Is that a pretty good month? I thought so. Here's the other part, though. The other part was, it's not all of it. This is my other merchant account for that same month. Another $90,000, $500,000 or so. Not bad. Now, how many people would like that type of income? I mean, that's the type of income that you're looking for. What would you do with an extra $500,000? I heard a Porsche somewhere. What else? Well, wait. First of all, let me just touch on that. A Porsche, right? You see, when you got the $500,000, it's now called a Porsche. You're allowed to say that extra bit at the end. What else? What would you do? Shares of the first property. What was the first part? Shares? Shares of property. Shares and property. Stocks and property. Is that great? Okay. There's a little language barrier. I need a translator. What else would someone do with $500,000? A boat. A boat. $500,000 you can buy a yacht that's bigger. What else?
I'd give some of it away.
You'd give some of it away? To who?
To charity.
To charity. I just started my own charity. I'm just kidding. What would you do? Lifestyle. Do nothing, right? That's what my lifestyle. What was that? Down payment on, you can buy the house for $500,000. Not the one you want, right? What would you do? Develop more businesses, reinvest it, good. Help out a brand new school. You see, there's so many different ideas that you can have. You need to start thinking of these things. How many of you have ever done this, just gone down to a car dealership and sat in that new car that you want? Have you ever done that? If you haven't, do it. How many people actually have a picture of the car that they want? I know it's materialistic, but that's okay. I was materialistic when I didn't have money. But you know, if you have a picture of the car that you want, put it up in front of you. If you have a picture of the house that you want, how many people have a picture of the house they want? How many people know what kind of house they want? Okay, get a picture of it, put it down, clip out newspapers, put a scrapbook up. You have to see this stuff in order to believe it. I had a picture of a car. I was 10 years old when I started doing this, believe it or not. A picture of this car that I've had since I was 10 years old. I told my mom when I was 10 years old I want a BMW. BMW. That's all I always wanted. It's BMW, this big, boxy BMW. And I knew exactly what car I wanted. I wanted a silver BMW. They didn't have silver at that time, but I wanted a silver. Well, I ended up getting a titanium silver BMW about 3-4 years ago, I guess. And I walked into the dealership. Now, think of how good this would feel just for a second. You walk into a car dealership, and the car dealership asks you how much, he asks you, first of all, I didn't even test or drive the car. I just said, I want that. And I sat down with him, and he said this, Mr. Morna, how would you like to pay for this? No, what kind of financing do you have? I said, I have a checkbook. You know, that's what you tell people like that. Or when I married my wife, she had a house. I didn't really like it, but she liked it at the time. So I said, I walked into the mortgage company. I said, well, we really need to kind of increase the payments on this house a little bit. I don't want to pay for this all the time. He says, well, how many payments would you like to make? I was like, just one. You know, it's kind of fun things like that you get a chance to do. But how do you get started? So let's talk about this. It all begins with a product, right? A product that people want and are willing to pay for. Did you notice I didn't say like? They don't have to like the product. They just have to want the product, right? Now, how many people have you bought something? I didn't say need. I didn't say need. Now, how many men in the audience are married? How many of you have ever bought a product that you wanted, but when you got it home, your wife said you didn't need it, right? We all done that. Who won? She did, right? Without a product, nothing will happen. Do you have a product right now? Raise your hand if you have a product. Okay, put those hands down. Raise your hand if you don't have a product. That's why you need to pay close attention to what we're going to talk about. If you don't have a product, you need to find one fast, and if you want to make money fast. It's the number one ingredient. Marketing doesn't matter unless you have a product to market. Your billion-dollar partner. You ready? eBay. Now, let's talk about eBay for a second, because I'm going to talk about it in ways that you've never even thought. Most people on eBay that use eBay think of what? When I mention eBay, what do you think of?
Secondhand stuff.
What is it? Secondhand stuff. Auctions. What else? What? Cheap stuff, right. What else? What is it? High rated? Pirated. Pirated stuff, okay. I'll get it. I'm learning. Did you notice, though, one thing I noticed when I landed off the airplane, though, the other day, is that everyone had an accent? But with eBay, though, what I'm telling you is that most people think of eBay, oh, well, I don't want to do eBay because if I have eBay, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go around to garage sales, and I'm going to have to buy stuff, junk, and I'm going to have to put it online, and hopefully someone else will buy my junk, right? Isn't that what you think of? I need to go through my house, clean out my house, because I'm going to go take all that stuff, put it on eBay. I'm going to make a fortune on eBay because someone's going to think that my junk is someone else's treasure, right? That's not eBay. Not the way I'm going to tell you. We're going to use a whole different fact. Here's some facts on eBay, though. 135.5 million people worldwide use eBay right now. Pretty impressive. That's probably an old number, really. 83 million in the U.S., 45.1 million being active. 31 million in other countries around the world. And you can see their growth charts since 1998. They're a pretty fast and growing company. There's some other facts on eBay. $18, the cost of an eBay share when the company went public in September 98. After splits, right now it's worth $760 per share. Pretty good. How many people wish they would have invested in eBay? I wish I would have too. I said it'll go away. It's just a fad. I still hold by that today. $729. Value of goods sold on eBay every second. Every second. 19 million number of items on the site at any given time, more than 300 times the number of stock keeping units in a typical Walmart. That's you guys know what Walmart is? You will eventually if you don't. It's a big department store, for those of you that don't know what it is. 65 million number of registered eBay users by the end of 2003. That's up 36% from the year before. 6.7 billion, the value of cars used and new sold on eBay in 2003. Just cars. You know, I believe it's every 9 seconds. Every 9 seconds on eBay, a new SUV is sold. A new SUV, not an old, not a used, but a new SUV is sold on eBay. Is that pretty shocking? SUV, it's like four-wheel drive. That's it. What they said. 34.2 billion. eBay's market share has closed on December 2004. $34 billion company, and you can partner with them. You can use eBay for new products. Here's where we get into it. One man's trash is another man's gold, right? That's what I was just talking about. Except we're not talking about junkyard stuff. Most people don't know the first thing about marketing on eBay. That's why they're selling it for cheap anyway. But we're not talking about physical items. You're going to see what I say. eBay sells businesses and websites. Businesses and websites. Now, we're not talking about little tiny businesses. We're talking about decent businesses. I'm not talking about spending $20,000 or $30,000 for a business. How much does it cost to start a business today? How much? A fortune. A lot of money, any way you look at it, right? And if a retail business, if you wanted to go out here and open up a store on the beach, it's a lot of money. But you can buy and sell a business on eBay. You can buy a business and a website instantly. If you don't know what you're doing, you'll get burned and churned. Write that down. You will get ripped off if you don't know what you're doing, so make sure you listen very carefully. You will lose money if you don't know what you're doing, and you'll end up with something you can't sell or get rid of, and that's what I call a PUTS. Okay, a PUT stands for a product you're unable to sell. That's what a PUTS is. And that's what you don't want to end up with on eBay. So now, let's talk of this. What did I buy in Australia? Well, the first thing I bought was some clothes. I have to tell you something. You know, I went out of the country the last couple times to speak last few months. I went to Singapore, and I spoke in Singapore for a pretty large group over there. And my wife, I'll blame it on her, she's not here, but she forgot to pack me my dress shirts. So I had to go down to the store and buy some dress shirts. So now, how much do dress shirts cost? Not very much, right? You know, just so I can put a white shirt so I can wear a tie with it underneath my sport coat. So I went down to the store in Singapore, and I walked in. I was in a hurry. I had 30 minutes to go down the store and come back. I walked in the store. I want that shirt, and that shirt. I bought 3 shirts. Now, what's the one thing I didn't ask? That's where I made my mistake. Because I don't know anything about Singapore, right? I figured a dress shirt's a dress shirt anywhere in the world. It can't be that expensive. $700 later, right? So I figured, well, how often can that really happen? So I got here yesterday morning. Before I checked into the hotel downstairs, I walked down the strip right here in back of the hotel. I said, okay, I'll buy a pair of jeans and a shirt and stuff like that. Now, again, I had no choice. Remember, I've got no clothes. So I walk into the store, and Mike was with me, and I said, well, I'll take that, and a pair of shoes. Bought a pair of shoes, too. And so didn't I ask? Right. Well, $650 later. I don't know, are these any good, these Boss jeans? They might even be girls' jeans, I don't know. They just... I have no idea, but I was like, oh my God. But they were Italian shoes, but but here's what else I bought this morning, before I came down here this morning. ClipPay.com. I bought this on eBay. It's a pretty decent looking website, right? ClipPay.com, it's a service that people can get a coupon code and pay people through PayPal with. I found it on eBay, and I bought it this morning. In fact, you can see the time I bought it. Bought it for $699 on eBay. It would have cost me much more to develop that myself. The time, Pacific time, that was like what? I don't even know what. Was that 12, 1? How do you figure out the time? 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, something like that? In the afternoon, Pacific time, right? So I bought it, one bid. I bought $699. Here's what else I bought this morning, before I came down here. I bought proagree.com. I bought this website, protecting transactions. People have agreements online, partners online. They want to protect themselves and have a transaction. They pay me $10, and now they can get a service on here on eBay. I mean, not on eBay, but on this website, and we'll have a record of their transaction. $699. Now think about it. So how much money did I spend so far? How much? $1,300, right? So $1,300, $1,400, let's say. $1,400 I spent this morning. Now, those 2 websites are pretty unusual, and I noticed a good deal, and I acted upon it when I saw the opportunity. I bought it literally this morning before I came down here. I believe it was about 9 o'clock this time. And those 2 websites, I have no doubt, will make me $200 $150,000 to $300,000 this year. So is $1,400 a good amount of money to spend? Was it how many people would buy that? Say, I would buy that. See, now check this out. Here's a proof of purchase on that one. Here's another what I bought on eBay. Everyone's talking about AdSense, right? You've heard a lot of people talk about AdSense on their website. Well, I bought this website called UpSense. And what it is, if you're going to advertise on a person's website, would you want the lowest paying keywords or the highest paying keywords? The highest, because the more money that the person's spending, the more money that you will make, right? I would rather have 30% of $10 than I would 30% of $3. Let's put it that way. Per click, again, that is. So I found this website. There's 490 different paying keywords that are over $10 per click. Now, if you were doing AdSense, which there are, I don't know how many people, probably well over 1 million people using, do you think they would want a list of the highest paying keywords? I bought this website not too long ago, and I paid $179 for it. Now, let's look at what I bought. I bought the product, right? I bought the website, right? I bought the domain name. I bought the hosting with it as well, too. And so what did I have to do after I had all this? Just drive traffic, right? That was the last piece of the puzzle. All I had to do, but literally, I bought this, put it up online, and started making money within the first few hours. Not days, not weeks, hours. If you follow the system that I'm going to show you right now, you're going to be able to make money in hours, not waiting. You see, the problem with America and the whole world today is that everyone's an instant society. How many people have a microwave oven? How many people have ever ate at McDonald's? Shame on you. But we want things fast, right? We don't want to wait for our money. Delayed gratification is a thing of the past. You see, so we want to make money now, and the faster you make money online, the more you will succeed. That's a given. That's a given. Because you'll be more excited about doing it. So look what else I bought. Free iPods. Do you think you could give away free iPods? Well, here's how it works. I saw this website. The bidding started at 1 cent. I believe I paid a couple $100 for it by the end of it. Now, this website, staripods.com, what happens with this website is you sign up to win a free iPod, to get a free iPod. Here's how it works. You have to refer 5 other friends to this system, and they have to take up X number of offers that are on there. Advertisers go through the offers, maybe fill out an application for a credit card, maybe fill out an insurance quote, things of that nature. And if you have 5 friends that do it, you will get a free iPod. Now here's the stats though. It takes 55 friends to go through the system before you'll get 5 to do everything that's required. So for every new person that signs up to get a free iPod, how many email addresses did I collect? 55, right? So do you think I could build a list pretty fast on that? For $200, would that be a good system to buy? Yes, it would be. Let's look what else. Credit repair. How many people have bad credit? No one's going to raise their hand. But, but there's a lot of people in the world that have bad credit, especially in the US, right? Because they teach you that from day one. I mean, think about it. You know, they're going to give me a loan at 18 years old. Do they really think I'm going to pay it back? No, I don't. I could barely get my pants on. But I bought this for $18.95. Millions of people are searching for credit repair every single day. With a website, all I have to do is what? Drive traffic. Now, let's look at it. I got the credit repair website. I got the domain name. I have I think it's a 375-page manual on it, right? So the product's developed. It's a membership site. All I have to do is put my PayPal link in there instead, and now I instantly have what? A business. Now, what if I don't like that business? What can I do with it? Sell it. Where would I sell it? Does this make a lot of sense? You see, you can't lose. If I bought it for $18.95, do you think there'd be someone that would pay more than that? Easily. You see, it's not very, very difficult. Does everyone think that they could do this so far? Okay, now here's the point is I'm going to show you how to make you more money on this. Okay, free cars. Do you think there'd be people out there that would want a free car? I thought so. So what I did is I bought this website. The way it works is this company will give you a free car if you plaster their advertising all over your car. But it's a free car. So who cares? There's a lot of people that do this in the U.S. that will get paid for it. And you've all seen these news stories. A person selling advertising on their bald head. You know? I mean, we got more space on the car. So, so we can get all this on the car. But I bought this website for 99 bucks. Already done. I don't have to do anything. Now I have to give you some warning though. Is that a lot of these websites, Angie, can I get that Coke? A lot of the websites that we have, the website itself stinks, to put it bluntly. This website stinks. I would never try to sell anything off this website, just in case Coke is looking for a sponsor. Someone to sponsor. I can be bribed. But anyway, this website here, though, the website stinks. What would I have to have to make this website sell? Based upon what you know. What? Anything. Yell it out. Change the picture. What is this? Sales letter. A sales letter. Remember, words sell, graphics don't. Write that down. That's the most important lesson I will say today. Except for later. But words sell, graphics don't. If there were no words on your website, would someone know to buy your product or service? No, they wouldn't. Words sell, graphics don't. You have to have the basic elements. I believe Brett talked a little bit about this at least, is just a basic headline on the website. You know, you need some copy. You need to get them to buy. You need to sell them on the service. Even if you're giving away a free product, you still need to do this stuff. So we would have to put a little bit of work in here, probably less than 2 hours. We could change that around for. Here's the seller information on this. Now let me walk you through this. First of all, Lee Post is the seller. He sold 237 items on eBay so far, so they're pretty good. 99.6% of the people had a good experience when they bought it. This is how I'm doing my research at the same time. I can read their comments, what they said about their experience with this person. So why am I doing this? To make sure that I just don't get ripped off, right? I just want a little bit of security. Even though it may not be a lot of money, I still don't want to throw away money. I can add them to my favorites. I can ask the seller a question. If there's any questions, you simply click that link and you can ask them a question. Don't be afraid to ask questions. That's how you find out things. And you can see if they have any other items that they're willing to sell. Now, and then you can, all the other stuff means really nothing. If they have a eBay store, you can see their eBay store on here as well too. Cheesecake. How many people like cheesecake? Well, I'm here to tell you there's a lot of people that like cheesecake. This is a complete website. This is a demo website, which means I just bought the back-end system for this cheesecake. And, I'm thinking, how many people could really want cheesecake all over the place? Well, I found this out when I did the search. Under cheesecake, 34,556 people search on cheesecake every month. Just on Overture. Just on Overture. And cheesecake recipes, number one. So if there's that many people searching, if you multiply that times 5, there's probably about 150,000. Why am I multiplying it by 5? Because the rest of the search engines, that's just on Overture. So if you multiply by 5, we'll get a rough estimate about how many people in the world are searching for it. About 150,000 people, and we can see what exactly that they're searching on right there. Not a big deal. We can take 5 minutes to do this. We're going to walk you through a step system how to do it. Magazines. How many people have ever read a magazine? It's kind of a crazy question, right? You all have probably read a magazine at some point. Now, the thing is, with magazines, it's a huge, huge business. Huge. Phenomenal. If you've ever bought a magazine, you've participated. If you received a magazine in the mail, you've participated in this business. Now, check this out. Here's what I found out, is that magazines, where do they make their money from? Advertising. Do they make money off the subscriptions? Not really. They just do it just for the heck of it most of the time. Most of these subscriptions, for example, to Forbes. Do you know that, let's say 2 to 3 times a year, Forbes will go out to all the magazine wholesalers and people that sell magazines and say, you can sell this magazine this month and you can keep all the money. How much? So if you sold that Forbes magazine this month, how much money would you keep? All of it, right? It's all yours. Do you know in some months, Forbes will come out and say, we'll pay you to sell our magazine. We'll give you $2 every time you sell a subscription. So you keep all the money, plus they're paying you another $2 on the back end. Does that make sense? Because what do they want? They want more readers in order to get what? More advertisers, and to charge their advertisers what? More money. You see what I mean? Magazines are huge. What else can you do with magazines? Well, if I had a wholesale source for magazines, could I do fundraisers? Could I do that? Could I go to a school if we wanted to raise money for a school? Could I go there and say, hey, I've got these certain few magazines that I have. I'll give you a commission for all the kids in your school that sell these magazines to who? The parents, right? How many of you ever had kids come home and say, I've got this fundraiser and we need you to buy Christmas paper, right? Stuff like that. Do they do that here? I mean, I have like 22 different nieces and nephews. I'm like broke all the time. And it's this crappy newspaper. I mean, Christmas paper too. It's really bad. But I buy it. I buy that and I buy magazines. I buy all this stuff because they ask me. But could I set up a system like that? Could I set up a system to do that? Could I set up different fundraisers? How many doctors do you think there are just in Australia? How many doctors? Thousands, right? How many dentists do you think? How many lawyers? How many, any kind of profession? Real estate offices. What's in every doctor's office? It's in every lawyer's office. Do you think there's a big market for magazines? Do you know how many people are selling magazines like that? Not a lot. Most places are actually just going in and just picking up a magazine subscription. Most doctors, most lawyers, whatever. Or what if you hooked up with the associations that sold? I'm just talking about magazines. You see, what I'm trying to get you to do is think differently. There's so many different opportunities just with this one site that's offline, and it's not even online, that I could buy it for $300 and get my money back relatively quick. You see what I mean? What if we broke it down? Do you think if we had a bunch of golf magazines, do you think we could make a separate site that just sold golf magazines? What if we had a bunch of teen magazines? Do you think we could make a separate site that just sold teen magazines? What if we had a separate site that just sold financial magazines? What if we had a separate site that sold, I don't know what else we got then there, music magazines? What if we had another site that just sold men's magazines? I took $300 and I just developed 8 or 9 different websites from it. Can you do that? All of you can. It's not hard once you've got the source. So what am I paying $300 for here? Just the source so I can buy magazines at wholesale price directly from the manufacturers. Now, with magazines, do you know what you have to do? You know how this system works? It's really easy. You take the money, and the system automatically sends the magazines over to the publisher. So now what? What work did you have to do? You have to send them a check. That's it. To pay for the cost of the magazines that you just ordered. But you already got the money, so is that a big deal? No. See, so you can make all this money really easily just from magazines. I mean, and that's just one site. Grants. Have you ever heard of a grant? Okay, do you know that's a huge, huge business, especially in the U.S.? There's a person by the name of Matthew Lesko. Matthew Lesko is a pretty interesting person. He's created a $155 million a year company just from giving people grants. Not giving them, showing them how to get grants. Okay, you want to know how he does it? If I could show you how to develop a $155 million business, would you want to know how to do it? Yes. Okay, here's how you do it. I'm glad you asked. The way he does it is he found all these government grants that were what? Free somewhere, which I'll tell you about, and then he put them into a book, and he sold them over here on television for $55. In a big, thick book like this thick. And he sold it for people for $55, made a $155 million company from doing that. Now, here's how he did it. You see, there's something called public domain. Write this down. Public domain. Public domain works this way. Some things that are written do not have a copyright on them. Some people forget to renew their copyright. Let me give you an example. When you're kids, anyone ever read the book Peter Pan? How many people see the movie? How many people ever saw the cartoon? Peter Pan is public domain. It was never copyrighted. Alice in Wonderland, you ever heard of that? Public domain. Benjamin Franklin's autobiography, public domain. Thomas Jefferson's autobiography. The Thomas Jefferson Encyclopedia is public domain. Let's talk about movies. Have you ever seen the movie, not Rocky Horror Picture Show, but the other one, Little Shop of Horrors? Yeah. The original movie's public domain. People forget to renew their copyright. Some things were never copyrighted to begin with. So you can make a huge business just from public domain. I'll talk more about that this afternoon. But government grants are public domain. How do you find out what government grants are public domain? Well, it's very simple. Here's what you do. You go to, let's go to this website, firstgov.gov, firstgov.gov. There you will find a big research on the U.S. grants. U.S. grants. You can look for anything about the U.S. there, and you know what? Everything that is published by the U.S. government is public domain. Amazing. Let me give you another example of how you can make money with this. Let's assume we had an election not too long ago in the U.S., and it was John Kerry and George Bush. Now, if John Kerry won the election, I could have made the public domain book of George Bush's best speeches, which would have been a very short book. But I could have sold a lot, though. But would have been a bunch of blank pages. But what happened is, I'll stop now. But what would happen is he would take this public domain, take a collection of all his speeches while he's in office. That's all public domain. Now, if George Bush would have won, I could have went over here and I could have created the public domain book, George Bush's best speeches. Same book. You see, no matter what, I would have won. Ronald Reagan, one of our past presidents, died. A friend of mine created a book, Ronald Reagan's best speeches. Sold it, made a fortune with it. The 911 deal. What happened is that there's a whole 911 book that came out that they were selling on Amazon for $8. You know, the whole thing was downloadable from a website that you could have got for free in a PDF format. A friend of mine owns a publishing company, printed out the whole thing, sold it online, and gave all the money to charity. If you know where to find this stuff, grants, how to buy anything you want to know about real estate, you can find online. You can search that same website. You want more about public domain? Another easiest way to do that is you go to google.com/Uncle Sam. Anything that you search on, any link that you click on is now public domain from the U.S. government. It's really easy. It's really quick to do this. I bought this website because they compiled everything for me, and I only paid $49 for it because it would have took me more money and more energy. Sure enough, I could have gone to the same place that I just told everyone about, but I'd have to make a website still. I would have had to buy a domain still. I would have had to do all this other work. This way, I can buy it for $49 and have it all done for me. You see, I'm not leveraging my own time and energy. I'm leveraging someone else's time and energy, and for $50, it's a great leveraging piece. What was that? Why is it so cheap? That's a good question. The question was, why would someone be selling this so cheap? Because they're going to sell that same website to somebody else. Now, do you care? No, here's why. Remember one of the things I said earlier? That most people stink at marketing. Is that true? So you can have 100 of these websites, and you know what? You'll never see a single one of them out there. If you know just what you've learned this weekend so far, you know much more than what people have online do. because most people don't know how to advertise. They certainly don't know how to use Google AdWords for the most part, or else you'd see them crammed with all this stuff. They don't know how to do any of this. That's why people are selling so cheap. They think their small frame of thinking is that if I sell a bunch of people these $50 websites, I will make a fortune. Well, why not sell them the product instead, where you have a much bigger and broader span of a market, millions of people? Doesn't that make more sense? So let's move on. You can get ripped off. Here's a website, cashbackdepot.com, $4,900. Pretty good. Now, it's a rebate program. You can buy at Walmart. You can buy at all these major labeled stores out there. And they will, whatever you buy, you send them what you purchased, and they will give you a rebate on all your purchases. The problem is that website's free. You don't have to pay $5,000 for it. You see what I mean? If you don't know what you're doing, you will get ripped off. Here's another example. Here's something I bought in England. I bought these CDs. It's a hypnosis set. Now, $10. I had 6 hypnosis CDs with resale rights, which means I can duplicate them, I can sell them, and I can keep what? All the money. For example, how many people do you think in the world want to stop smoking? Is that a good market? If I had a CD, a hypnosis CD for stop smoking, could I market that? If I had a hypnosis CD to lose weight, could I market that? If I had a hypnosis CD for motivation, could I market that? You see what I'm saying? Out of one product, I can get 6 different products for less than $10. You could barely duplicate this for $10, but yet someone's trying to sell it. I bought it. So here's another thing. Here's another website. This is a recipe books. Sandwich, kids fun recipe, 140 salads. The recipes of the classic dessert collection. Now, these are all books, one combined package. I believe the price on it was like $39 for the website and the books. And it's simple. You just buy the website. It's already done. I bought this. This is a whole tape collection for $37, the whole thing. I bought this when I was in England, too. And there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 different cassette tapes that I bought and have the master resale rights to, which means I could sell you resale rights of the same thing. Is that a good deal? If I had the master resale rights, how many people would I have to sell in order to get my money back? Just one, right? Do you think I'd charge them $37? Not if you know me. It'd be a lot more than that. And we could get our money back really fast on that. Another thing, let's talk about this. Private label stuff. Private label, another category. Write this down. Private label, things that you don't create. You don't create it. You don't manage it. You don't take payments for it. You don't worry about it. You just send traffic to it. And you can sell your private label later. There's all kinds of things we can private label. And you can do this over and over and over again. And it takes minutes to set up. Is that good? Okay, let's go. What is this? What's this look like? Travel website, travel reservations, hotel reservations, travel. Do you think travel companies make money online? What if you could set this up for free? Would that be good? How many people would want to know how to do it for free? Okay, see me later. Just kidding. But go to this website. The website is ian.com. Write that down. This is how you get a free travel website, just like this, but better looking. ian.com. Ian.com. You go to ian.com, and what you're going to see is a sign-up form. You want to click at the top link that says affiliate program. Sign up for their affiliate program, and they will allow you to make a website that looks just like this with whatever domain name in the upper right-hand corner. And within 5 minutes, you have a website that looks very similar to this, and you're done. Is that good? 5 minutes. Can everyone afford 5 minutes? How many people do you know that travel? Everybody, right? I mean, would it be better? Would you think your friends and family and relatives would feel obligated to use you if they knew you had a travel website? Yeah, put that pressure on them. Make them do it. So make yourself a travel website. It takes 5 minutes and it's free. Okay, Nutritional supplements. Is that a good business? How many people are into health? We all say we are, right? I care about my health. That's why I see you guys at McDonald's later on. That's why. But where's the market where people pay any amount of money for results? Okay? What's a market that everyone will pay for results? What is it again? Weight loss. How many people want to lose weight? Everybody does, right? How many people in here have ever bought a weight loss product? Raise your hand. You see? Yeah, I see like this. I know you did. The rest of you are lying, so. Why aren't you doing it? The market won't go away, but why don't you have your own weight loss product? Why don't you have your own weight loss product? You don't know where to get it. Why? It costs too much, right? There's no knowledge. You don't have the money. Is that right? Sound about right? Well, you don't have to have all those things. And you have no idea of how to do it. You see, give you some ideas. You need a wholesale source. Is that right? Let me get down. I feel like I need to get down, walk around a little bit. Okay, so you need a wholesale source, okay? You need a product formulation, right? You need an affordable cost or an affordable way to do all this. Does that make sense? Okay. Vitallabs.com, write that down. Vital Labs, V-I-T-A. See, it's kind of amazing. I walk through the audience and all of a sudden people are like, oh, I better write it down. He's walking by. But Vitallabs.com. Cost $1.75 to $7 a bottle. Now, here's the problem. Here's the deal. Here's what happens, is that people tend to think if it's $1.75 or $7 a bottle, I have to buy thousands of this stuff. No. Here's the deal. The president or the CEO of the company, his name is Vic, V-I-C. His name is Vic. And Vic will actually sell you these products whether you buy at the same price, whether you buy one or whether you buy a bunch of them. It's the same price. If you buy 5,000 units, it's $1.75. If you buy one unit, it's $1.75. But here's what happens is when you get it, you have your logo, your name on it. It looks just like you would go down to a store. I've been working with this company for 5 years. We sell products online. In fact, we're getting ready to release a new website. It's called freedietproducts.com. Is that a good idea? Free people would go to a website free diet product. Does that make sense? Free diet product, how it works though. Free diet product works like this. If you go to my website, order my free diet product, what will happen is you'll automatically send me the shipping money for the diet product. It means you'll pay me $6.95 to ship that product to you. Now, I will automatically put you on auto ship for that product, which means every month I will send you that product again and charge you. Does that make sense? Now, I know up front, here's where you got to know your numbers. I know 40 to 50% of these people will cancel their order within the end of month one. Well, what did that leave me with? 50 to 60% that didn't cancel, right? Now, if I charge them $6.95 for me just to ship it to them, how much do you think the product is? How much? No, that's how much it cost me. $1.75 is how much it cost me. Okay, I would charge them $36 to $40 for the product. So now I'm making $50 per person per month. Is that a good model? Should you do that? Yes. You see, see how simple that is? You see, if you know the numbers, I'm accepting a 50% cut rate, but yet I'm still going to make thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I have a friend of mine that sells a diet weight loss patch, right? You know how many orders he does a day? A day. 5,000 orders a day. Is that a good business? Yeah. You know what he did? One of my partners, his name is Alex Mondosian, was coaching with this person, and Alex had this brilliant idea. Actually, on the order form to put the 800 number on the order form, and they increased their business by 2,500 orders a day, just by putting an 800 number on an order form. Is that good? Is that a lot of money? Absolutely. Question in the back.
I get this email often they're selling software
You could, if they're selling software. Add-ons for Microsoft. Well, we're talking about two totally different things. Well, obviously we're talking about just, nutritional products and things. You're talking about mass emails for software, add-ons for Microsoft. We'll talk about software later on today, though. Well, we don't want to spam. We never spam anybody. Now, I haven't even talked about traffic yet. Again, we're marketing traffic the same way. Google AdWords, joint ventures, and things of that nature. So we're not spamming anybody. Another question. Yes.
In this model, when someone does sign up and they get their first free bottle and then they go on auto ship,
yes.
Who does the shipping?
You would take care of that in that case. This is not a drop ship situation.
Okay.
Like Jenny was talking about the other day. Now, you can arrange it with other companies that will drop ship. Now, for example, here, I would bet you that I could probably go onto Google and I would find a drop shipper for diet and nutritional supplements within 5 minutes. And maybe we'll do that this afternoon. We'll find out. Another question real quick. No, we actually let them know on that main page that they are going to pay the shipping cost for it. So we don't want to say anything that's not true. The question was, isn't it false advertising if we tell them it's free, but yet they still have to pay for the shipping? Well, does the product cost them anything? How much is the shipping charge? $6.95. How much did it cost you for the product, though? How much does it cost you to ship it? Less than a couple dollars, right? So, we still make money giving away a free product because we don't use all the $6.95. Do you see what I mean? Do you see how that works? Another question right here. Good question. Would you have problems with the FDA or whatever regulatory government? Well, the whole point is that if you use the correct nutritional manufacturer, you're not making up these items. You are not a product formulator. So what you would do is you would find a product that's already existing, but just put your label onto it. For example, Vital Labs, you know they do about 30 to 40% of all the products, nutritional products in the United States? Now, for example, I sell a nutritional product online. It's called Thermogen. Right? Have you ever heard of a company called Metabolife? It's the exact same product, except I buy it for a lot less money. You see what I mean? I have another product. It's a daily vitamin. You ever heard of a product called Centrum? Yes. That's the exact same product that I market, and that product costs me about 50 cents. Except I sell it for about $20. So you see what I'm saying? Is that all these different products that you can market, that you have, that you can get. Now, they have let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of the Atkins diet program? Now, do you think there's a lot of people on that? Now, what if you could have a product that, let's say, blocked all the carbohydrates that you had coming into your system every time you ate a meal? Would that be good? Do you think that would be a good market? Well, they happen to have a product called, they call it Cheat and Eat. That's the name of the product. Cheat and Eat works this way. You take 2 tabs of this Cheat and Eat product, it's a little 2 capsules. Take it before you eat. It blocks the fat, blocks the carbohydrates from entering into your system, and that's it. Pretty simple, huh? Could you sell that? A lot of people would sell that. What if you did this? Let's take it one step further. We're talking selling directly to the consumer. But what if I said, you know what? I will sell you the products for you. Let's say it's $3.50 a bottle, except I'll do all the shipping for you. I will handle all the customer service. I will do everything else. Would that be better? Well, I'm not going to do that. But you could. Now think about it. What if you developed a brand and you're here in Australia and all of a sudden you said, I'm looking for wholesale distributors. Now, it costs you $1.75. You sell them the product for $3.50. They can't order in ones and twosies, but what they will do is they can order a case at a time at 24 bottles. Do you see what I mean? See, now you're the source. Do you see how that works? Does that give you some ideas? Is that good? See, you can become the source. Who makes most money? The person owning the company or the person working for the company? Owning. You want to own the company. In that case, you can use another company to supply you with the product, but you maintain the identity of the company. They don't know this other company exists. See how that works? You have to think differently. Order 1 case, it's the same price, like I said, pre-made formulations, the same formula is sold in most stores across the world, literally. And you can sell the bottles for $24 to $40 each. You know what I do? Let me tell you how I sell weight loss products. It's very simple. I had a website that we were marketing. This is my first campaign. This is one of the things that we're redoing a little bit. We bought the products. We sold them not one at a time. We sold them 4 bottles at a time for $100. And it was 4 different products. It cost me about $11, I believe, in order to do that. Then what I did is I had the website in big, bold letters, I will pay you to lose weight. Is that a good headline? How many people would want to get paid to lose weight? So here's what we'll do. You'd have to send me a picture of yourself right now. And then if you lost, I believe it was 10 pounds in the first 30 days, first 90 days, I would pay you $50. If you lost 20 pounds in the first 90 days, I'd pay you $75. If you lost 30 pounds in the first 90 days, I would pay you $150. But the deal is 90 days. How long do they have to stay on my product for? 3 months, 90 days. How much are they paying me? $100 a month, right? So it's $300. Again, how much money did I make? $300. I had $150 that I have to pay out if they lost 30 pounds, right, at max, and I still make money. Does that make sense? Is that a good marketing campaign? Now, what if you did this? I'm going to give away a trip. I'm going to give away a trip to Hawaii, right? And out of all the people that lose 20 pounds in the next 30 days, I'm going to give out a trip. Now, the trip to Hawaii is going to be an all-inclusive trip to Hawaii. It may cost me $5,000 or $10,000. But we're only going to start the trip to Hawaii once we get 5,000 people in. The benefit of you ordering your product now is that you will have a head start amongst everybody else before we start the contest. That gives you an unfair advantage. Now, also, if you refer one of your friends to us and they win the trip, I will send you on a trip for free too. Now, is that going to make people, how many people do you think they should refer now? As many people as they possibly can, right? Now remember, I said I'm only going to give away the trip once I get 5,000 customers, right? So how much money did I just make? 5,000 times 100, right? That's $500,000. Can you afford 2 free trips to Hawaii? Do you see? Now, would that be an enticing campaign? Could you use that? It doesn't take a math genius to figure this out. We're just throwing some different ideas. Now let's talk about this. Let's go back to eBay again. Let's go back a little bit. eBay. Let's go this way. Properties on eBay. Again, told you I was going to talk about real estate. I'm going to talk about real estate in a way that's never been talked to you about before. I'm going to talk to you about eBay properties on real estate on eBay. You can buy houses, property, land, condos, everything on eBay, except in a different way. Here's what I mean. There's 980 to 1,500 residential properties every single day on eBay that are for sale. 300 to 500 commercial properties for sale every single day on eBay. 1,000 to 1,500 land sales every single day on eBay. What you need to do first is narrow down those listings. You see, we're looking for a specific type of property. Now, how many people would want to buy a property right today, just talk today, with what you got for $100,000? Raise your hand. Some of you guys, we need to talk. How about $50,000? Raise your hand. That'd be good? How about $30,000? $10,000? $5,000? Okay, $4,000? $3,000? Raise your hand. $2,000? $1,000? $500? Raise your hand if you would buy a piece of property today. Okay, $500 on eBay. This is how we do it. We narrow down the listings. Write this down. We're looking for highly motivated sellers. The key to real estate on eBay is to buy low and sell high, just like it is offline. Now, I have to tell you this first. I have to give you a little warning. I'm not a real estate expert. I know nothing about real estate, absolutely nothing about real estate, but yeah, I've managed to sell properties on eBay. Looking for low price points, right? What's our price point? $500, right? Well, the two words you need to know in order to do this. It's called no reserve. So what you want to do is you go to, I'm going to give you enough information to make you dangerous. You go to realestate.ebay.com. realestate.ebay.com. Okay? Now you can click on commercial, residential. Let's just stick to residential for now. Residential property because it's the easiest. And we type in the search box, no reserve. Okay, we click on residential, then we type in no reserve into the search box, and that's going to give us all the property down the middle that actually has no reserve on it. Does that make sense? Can everyone do that so far? Anyone lost? No? Okay. What was that? Why would they take that risk? Oh, well, see, it's not a risk to them. I'll explain in a moment. They're actually happy about this. I'll show you. We're going to show some examples. Property number 1, property that we've bought. Okay. There's the house. It's huge. It's actually a dump. $860. I believe we bought this for about $900 on eBay. I have no idea. Actually, I think it says here, Hayden, Arizona. You're going to see why I have no idea in a minute. Here's the demographics. $860 though. Remember this. Now look at this. Here's some demographics I found from eBay. Now let's go to housing. Okay, the zip code tells us the zip code, which is where people live. The average home value in that area is $74,500. If I had a house for $900, could you think I could make money with it somewhere? Yes, right? Okay, so now, but let me tell you, I'll explain to you more as we go. Property number 2. Who wants that? Now, remember, $990, 5 days to go. There's one bid on it already. That's the property. Looks like what? A dump. Right. What was that? Someone said, oh, I heard that. I can't say that on microphone. But, but it does look like that. but here's the thing, $990. Now here's the demographics though. Average home value in the area is $58,300. Now, just one moment. $58,300. Now let's just look at this for a second. I have a house, let's just say it's $900, right? $900. The average home in the area is what? $58,300. What's a dump in the area do you think sells for? $20,000? $10,000? Do you think I can make money off a $900 investment? Okay, now, it gets better. Question though. You had a question? She's like, why in God's earth would you buy that? Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jeanette. I'm just wondering where you get that information from,
Oh,
demographic information.
Very good. Good question. Let's see if it shows on it. Actually, I cut it off before I grabbed this. Underneath this section, the demographics, there's actually a section underneath here where you can click demographics. There's a little link, and that will pop that up onto a different page. It's how I get the demographics. So let's take a look. So we have a piece of property here. Now, more info. Here is the property. Here's the information on this property. Okay, here's the parcel ID, the property tax descriptions. We got 2 lots on this one. 119, lots 119 and 120. Gives you the address. A single story on double corner lot. 80 by 120 square foot. A property feet less than a mile from 75. This property is a major fixer-upper, obviously, and is being sold as is. To the best of my knowledge, there are no liens on the property, and the title is all clear. All taxes are current. Taxes are approximately $375 a year. If you need further information on this property, you may contact Saginaw County or city authorities located in a quiet neighborhood. So that was the property. That was the information. Now, here's what I'm doing. Do you think I'm really buying this property to keep? No. Now, I don't want to keep anything. Here's the way it works, though. I buy a property for, let's say, $800, right? Now, I fix up the property virtually, literally, online. I don't go to the house. I don't even know where the house is. I just make it look pretty online. And then I put it back up to sell on eBay after I've made it look pretty, and then I sell it for twice the amount of money that I paid for it. Does that make sense? Now, here's what happens. I buy this property. Again, just so I know I'm losing some of you. I buy it. I pay the guy the money. How do I pay him? PayPal. I send him money through PayPal for a property. Now what happens? As I actually own this property at this point, don't I? I don't have any title or anything on the property, but here, I don't want the title on the property. Here's why. I take the property now. I fix it up. I make it look pretty. I go over here. I put it online. Within 3 to 4 days, I sell the property again to someone else, to this guy. Now what I do is this guy bought the property, in this case, maybe for $1,700. Now I take this guy's name and information, and I give it to this guy for the title, right? Who owns the property? This guy, right? Did my name ever appear on the property? No. Who made money? That's all that matters. You see how easy it is, how simple it is? It's not complicated in order to do this. Let me give you some examples here again. Property number 3. Say that what? Well, it's a little different because remember, most of this property you're going to find out is in the U.S. Remember, we're looking at real estate from a totally different standpoint. These are owned by what's called quick deed claims, right? Which means just a signature, period. And so it's not like a major deal. We're using it purely as a piece of property. Go ahead.
Can this work in Australia?
Can this work in Australia? Well, the difference is I'm showing you this on eBay because I know we can flip it on eBay. I don't know the laws here in Australia. I know you can buy this property in the U.S., and you can also sell it to someone else, and you can still make money, and there's nothing wrong with that. Could you do it with property here in Australia? Don't know. I wouldn't try it. And here's why this property is so cheap. Some of you may be asking, why is this property so cheap? First of all, these guys have bought this property in bulk lots. They didn't buy one property at a time. They bought 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 different pieces of property all in one bulk shot. And then what they're doing is they're breaking it up. They're selling it to me for $500, $800, a couple $1,000s. They're still making money off of this property because they made about 30 properties for $15,000 or $20,000. That's it. And now they're just flipping it over. Question right down here.
Hi, my name is Tony. I just want to ask you, how can you sell something if it doesn't really belong to you? Because you have to get the property registered to you before then you can online sell it.
Good point. That's a good question. Actually, it does belong to us because when you buy anything from eBay, it's a legally binding contract, which means that you actually now have full ownership on that. So what we've already done is this person has got their money, so we now have actually ownership of that. He cannot sell that property to anybody else. So now we have the legally binding contract from eBay that says we own this property at this point. Well, actually, not necessarily because we can flip it. It's just buying and flipping houses. That's all it is. And we're just using it as a piece of property. We've done this numerous times, no issues whatsoever. Go ahead.
Hi, my name's Alex. How do you virtually fix up the property?
It's a good question, Alex. Let's take a look. Here's the demographics on the last property, but let's take a look. Well, here's another outrageous deal. $1.25. That's pretty good. Now here's the funny part. This was $1.25 after 2 people have already bid on this. So real estate bulk dealers. Here's what I'm talking about, bulk dealers. Right here. Look at same company, no reserve, no reserve, no reserve. They're all starting off at 99 bucks. And you'll find cases like that. Land sales. You'll be able to find these land sales. $101. Notice at the very bottom, buy it now. $499. Okay? There's 4 bids on this and it's at 100 bucks. Okay? Here's the way it works. You don't want to keep the property, first of all. That's the whole thing. We don't want to keep it. Although, if you keep it, you will make more money. I'll explain that in a moment. Turn it over in hours, at most days. Take your money and run. Most people don't know how to sell. Remember, people on eBay what? Don't know how to market, right? They don't know how to market. There's no clue on how online marketing works. That's where our advantage is. You have the secret weapon that no one else has anywhere else on eBay, and that is me. So the point is that we've done this over and over and over again. It's not very complicated. It's very easy to do. And let me just show you some examples. First of all, it's steps to flipping a property. Decide how much you want to make. Okay? I'll take some questions in a moment. Decide how much you want to make. Easy. We want to get rid of it as quickly as possible, right? We don't want to own it. We don't want to end up owning it. Is 100% return your money and good? Especially when it's real estate. Minimum is 100%. 200 to 300% can be expected, but we don't want to push the envelope too much. Price to what the market will hold. The market, when I say the market, not the real estate market, the eBay real estate market. Now, you're going to see property on eBay going from $1 all the way up to $6 million. So we want to look around, do our competitive research to find out what this property will sell for. And we want to spy on them. We want to find out, we want to watch. We want to sit there and we want to watch what is happening, which means we take an item, we look at it, look what did it start at, we keep checking it to see what the price points are and what it sold at. We just kind of watch that stuff. Look what other people are selling. We look around at what other people are selling in that area, and you place an auction. You post an auction. Does everyone know what an auction is? You just post it back up and a bunch of people bid on it. You need content from the auction. So we use existing content from the site you just purchased, which means we don't even have to write the content necessarily. I'll show you that in a moment. We reformat it, make it look pretty. Most auctions suck. It's the bottom line. They look cruddy. You're selling real estate, so you have to be a little bit professional. So here's the average auction site. That's probably better than most. But that's what they normally look like. Here's what we do. I did this on a free website deal. I did this on Netscape Composer, just to prove it one time at a real estate deal. I did this live. What we did is we sold this property right here. Must sell this handyman special. Dirt cheap, buy now. We gave them all the information. And what see down the bottom? Must sell only $2,550 right now in red letters. What's that button right there? It's an audio button. Do you know if they come to my auction, my voice automatically comes up, and what am I doing? I'm reading them my auction. Do you think that that's going to make me stand out more than anybody else? There's a study. We had an article written up on my company, Audio Generator, and they found out, Entrepreneur did this big special on eBay, Entrepreneur Magazine, that is. Entrepreneur Magazine did this big special on eBay. They featured us in this article. And what they said was this. Of the people that used Audio Generator on their auctions, what was taking them 200 and 300 views in order to sell something on eBay was now taking them 5 or 6 in selling the same item. We immediately put audio on all of our auctions in order to get rid of it really, really fast. Average time frame is 3 to 4 days max. Sometimes a lot less, sometimes in hours. But max, that's how we're doing this. This is what a typical auction is. We made them a little bit better templates at this point, but because this one was done on a free deal, we actually have the headline. I've elaborated more on the headline now. We include the picture, and we basically relist it and make it look pretty. Someone had a question back in here somewhere. Over here, a gentleman on the left. Go ahead.
The original sale said there was no liens on the property. Is there some way you can search that? Some people forget.
Yeah, that's a good question. The original listing said there's no liens on the property. We have, in the U.S., the way we're structured is we have counties, towns and counties. And so what we can do is we can call them up on the phone and just simply ask. And they will tell us if there's an existing lien or anything wrong with the property that we should know about. Another question someone had. It's very simple. It's worth a few phone calls to make $500 or $600.
There's heaps of hassles with legal hoo-ha in real estate here. So I can't grasp how the title...
Say that again?
The title and all the legals that
there isn't
are
any.
Involved. I know, but how?
Very simple. There isn't any.
when you buy...
Because we're never taking ownership of the property. If I waited, I would have to take the title. I have 30 days in order to take the title in the U.S. Right. Okay? 30 days in order for me to accept that title and put it in my name.
That's the answer.
So now, what happens is now I have to go over here in that time frame and I can assign it to somebody else. You see, we're using what's called a quit deed claim, which means it's a very simple form of paperwork, meaning it's just my name and information on it. So it's nothing major.
This info here, was that underneath this listing on eBay? Or that
This info was,
property info?
this is the listing on eBay. I just reformatted and made it look a little prettier.
Yeah, it was there with the photo with the original ad. Yeah.
I took all that. I wouldn't buy a piece of property without a photo because it doesn't meet my guidelines. You see what I'm saying? Does that make sense to everybody? Another question right here.
Yeah, just what the young chap over here was saying. When you say you pretty up the property, so you're not actually doctoring the photo and sticking flowers in it or anything,
No,
are you?
we don't doctor the photo. Okay, let's go back. This is what it looked like. This is the listing. This is the listing after. Okay? Ugly, pretty. That's all I'm talking about. I'm not talking about anything major. We're talking 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes worth of work. One last question. Down here. But you see what I'm saying? See, you're looking at it from a different point of view than what we had before. Every single day, I estimate there's between 40 to 60 actual listings that we can actually do this with. Go ahead.
Can I just ask, if you're in the first process of flipping, what if the next guy off of you is planning on doing the exact same thing and you've got that 30 days? How do you go with, if these people are continually flipping it and how do you do the transfer?
Put it this way, most people aren't doing this on eBay. I've only taught 3 groups of people this whole concept. And for example, one person took a piece of property, this is in the last 3 weeks, took a piece of property they bought for $2,500, kept it, this is the other option, kept the property they bought for about $2,500 and sold it through a local real estate broker. Now, what happens when you sell it through a local real estate broker? Are they trying to sell it for little money or a lot of money? A lot of money. They sold it for $20,000. Why don't I do that? Because I'm lazy. I don't want to, see, you can make more money doing it like that, but the point is I just want to get money and get out. And I just want to flip it really fast.
Do you always phone and check the liens, if there's a lien on it?
I always check.
Yeah, just that?
I check just for my own security. And even though we're not talking a lot of money, I always check to make sure I'll make the phone call, and you can find out the information always online.
Because it could have 10,000 lien, couldn't it?
If there's a bunch of liens on it, we don't want it. You're going to find out most of this property was foreclosed property.
Yeah.
And that they just end up getting. Sometimes you'll actually find out, every once in a while, I found a property the other day, it's about $2,500. It was actually worth about $40,000. And I kind of kept that one a little bit. So, but I haven't done anything with it yet. Another question in the back, real quick. How do you avoid getting burned? Doing your research. Do your research by, first of all, finding out, just like this gentleman said, are there any existing liens on the property? Do these people actually own it? We can call up the county tax assessor. First of all, here's another little bit tidbits of information. We can call up the county tax assessor. The county tax assessor will tell us what the property is actually assessed for their taxes, meaning that'll give us a rough idea of what the value of this property is. Okay? The next thing that we can do is we can call the local county clerk. The county clerk will actually tell us if there's any liens on the property or any other information. And you will find a lot of other things to go if you call the clerk as well too. One thing I always ask, and this is my wish someday, is that I'm in the middle of like a highway coming through, and that I'm just going to hold out, and so they'll pay me a lot of money. But I'll always ask questions like that just to see, because sometimes you may find that situation. So let's move on. We're almost done, and then we're going to go to lunch. Here's how you do it again. You buy it from buyer number 1. You repost it on eBay. You double the amount of money that you're charging. You repost it on eBay. Okay? Get rid of the repost it. Okay, sell it. Send the info to buyer number 1. You make the money off of it. You go to bed, and congratulations. That's about how simple it can be. The fastest I've ever done this was about 4 hours, I believe, total, start to finish. And just doing it back and forth. Now I get the money through PayPal. I paid out through PayPal, so everything was good. Here's what we covered today. How you want to make money. We all discovered we want to make money what? Fast. Traditional product development, we talked about eBay profits as buying and selling businesses. Can everyone buy and sell a business? Yes, it works. Instant product aggregators, we'll talk more about that this afternoon. Private labels, real estate. Now, Before I talk today, did anyone think that I would actually have something to sell? Raise your hand if you thought I had something to sell today. Raise your hand. I've been taught that I should never disappoint an audience. So here's what it is. It's everything that you need to build a profitable and successful internet business right now. Not next week, not tomorrow, not the next day, right now. And it's $29.97. Here's how it works. There's 3 different pieces. You get my software. How many people have ever heard of my generator software before? Raise your hand. Some of you. Raise your hands high if you have. I make software that's been sold by tens of thousands of people all over the world to help you do different things. Sales letter generator. How many people feel they can write a sales letter right now? Raise your hand. Okay, see? Then you need that software. The reason why, it's a formula that I developed that does 2 different things. It asks you a series of questions. Insert headline here. What is question number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? You fill in the blanks. As you fill in the blanks, you know those long, boring sales letters that we all have on our websites? It makes one of those. But it's designed to sell. So you push another button, you click finished, and you know what else it makes? A website for you. It makes your sales letter and your website all combined. Does that make sense? Is that good? Now, ebook generator. Ebook generator is the first software. Remember I told you I created that book to show people how to take payments online? Well, what happened was when I did that, I discovered that I need ebook software in order to put this ebook together. Small detail, right? Well, what I did is I bought ebook software number 1, and I discovered that it didn't have everything that I needed. I bought number 2, and I found out it didn't have everything I needed. I bought number 3. It still didn't have everything I needed. And then I sat back, like many of you have, and all of a sudden you said, boy, if someone would make a piece of software that had all these things in it and none of the bad, I bet you they could make a lot of money. And that's exactly what I did. Is I took all the software, combined it into one. I've been selling it for, I guess, about 6, 7 years now. Instant PDF generator. Anyone ever read a PDF file? Right? If you read a PDF file, then you know that to create it, you need Adobe, right? Except Adobe costs $247 US in order to buy it. I discovered that you can create PDF files for a lot less money, and we made a product called Instant PDF Generator, and here's how it works. Can everyone do this? Okay, because when you do this, that means you click File, Print, and now your PDF file is created. If you can print on your computer, you can now make a PDF document. That's how our software works. E-cover generator. Did you notice on some of the products that people have, they have these virtual ebook covers? They look like book covers, but they don't have a book. How can you have a book cover if you have a virtual book, right? Well, we create a piece of software that actually creates those 3D images of books and softwares. If you've seen Mike's products, his products use my software. Many other people use my software online in order to make these e-cover graphics. Popovers. You know pop-ups can be blocked? Okay, now let me explain to you something, because it's going to make a lot of sense here in a second. I'll go back and recover this. I created this last product called Pop-Up Generator. How many people like pop-ups? Nobody? You sure? I like pop-ups. As a marketer, I love pop-ups. As a consumer, I hate pop-ups. But what I did is I had this idea a few years back. I said, you know what? I'm going to make a piece of software that will show a marketer how to put a pop-up on a website because no one could figure it out. So I created this software and I sold it with resale rights. And all of a sudden, if you go to Google today, right now, and you type in pop-up generator, you will find out that there's over 300,000 listings for this software on the internet today. Why? Because a lot of people want to know how to put pop-ups. But I discovered something else. Pop-ups were getting blocked. People don't like pop-ups, right? So I made a product called Pop-Up Zero. You know what that is? It's a pop-up blocker to block all the pop-ups of the people that I just created. So here's what happened next. And that brings me back up to my pop over. Now, remember, we had pop-up generator, we had pop-up zero, and then I developed this piece of product called pop-over generator, which gets around the pop-up blockers and still allows you to have a pop-up on your website. And so it's called product security right there. But we created this software where it can't be blocked by a pop-up blocker. It still shows your pop-up on a website, so your marketing message will get through. And we have 4 different types. Link check generator, see how well you're doing in the search engines. You enter in your website, it tells you how many links that you have coming in from the search engine. It's a good way that you can spy on your competition. FlashPal, if you use PayPal, the way PayPal used to be is that you can get view source code on a website, and I can buy your PayPal link, which means I can steal your product. You see? So we created this product called FlashPal Generator to help prevent PayPal theft. Pop-up generator, we know that story. Header generator. Have you ever noticed on the top of like Mike's websites or Brett's websites, in many cases, sometimes there's a header graphic at the top? There's this graphic, just like looks like a banner. It goes all the way across the top of the page, right? And on that graphic is usually the name of your website, maybe your name, and maybe the title of your product. That's called a header graphic. And we made a piece of software that makes those header graphics with 330 templates. The way it works is very simple. You pick the graphic that you want out of 330. Next step, put your text on it. Third step, click Finish, and it makes that graphic for you. So you don't have to be a graphic artist in order to do all this. Opt-in Automator. Remember about building an email list, which Mike and I will talk about on Monday. I'll talk more about that later on this afternoon. Opt-in Automator. When a person comes to your website, a little gray box pops up. It's not a pop-up. Can't be blocked. If they just click OK, they're subscribed to your newsletter automatically. You capture the name and email list. We'll talk more about that this afternoon. Smart pages. Everyone's talking about search engine stuff. We created the search. If you go to Google right now, you'll find out there's about 300,000 to 400,000 pages in there right now utilizing my Smart Page software because it works. We can get top 10 rankings in Google. What kind of seminar are we at right now? We're talking an internet marketing seminar. Go to Yahoo right now. Type in Internet Marketing Seminar. Do you know what's #1 listing? A smart page that someone used for my software. With my software, they get to #1 underneath that term. That's how well it works. Internet Marketing Basics. How many people here consider yourself a basics person? Still basics? You need more information? Well, here's the deal. My brother came to me and said, you know, you make a lot of money. He wasn't asking for a loan. That was the week before. But he said, you know, you make a lot of money. Can you show me how to make money on the internet? So I thought about it. And I said, well, if I'm going to show him how to get started on the internet knowing absolutely nothing, because my brother has no clue about computers, I said, you know what? I'm going to record this thing. I recorded it, and we had about 100 other people on that call. And I went from ground zero, knowing nothing on the internet, to having your website up, running, autoresponders, everything ready in order for you to start making money. And it's a 5-hour call that we did that we sell online right now. And actually, he keeps the money. Well, all this product right here is $1,347 if you had to buy it right online today. You also get my product creation workshop. It's 36 hours long. It's actually 4 different workshops combined into one long workshop. We talk about ebooks and how ebooks are not dead. We talk about DVDs, how to create your own DVDs. Physical books, how to create physical books. Software, we teach you how to make your own software. I've made millions of dollars with software. We teach you how to make your own software. There is not a single person in this room that I can take 10 minutes and show you how to make a piece of software with instantly. And we may do that this afternoon. Seminars. I put on one of the largest internet marketing seminars in the world. And I teach you how to put on your own seminar in this course as well, too. 1997, that's what I charge plenty of people to do this, to do that course alone. And then you get what I call an instant BG one-day workshop. It's a 6 to 8 hour live training class specifically for no one else but this room. That's it. No one else is allowed into it. It's the latest eBay private label real estate income building techniques, because I change this all the time. It's a live teleseminar during your time, not my time, which makes it a little bit easier, right? Unless you guys want to stay up all night. So we have the live teleseminar with live questions and answers. It's a step-by-step program. Everything that you need to know. It's $29.97. That's what I charge just for that class alone. And here's the guarantee, though. You see, one of the things that I believe is that my systems work. My best student right now makes over $2,000 a day. I have a 17-year-old making $20,000 a month. I have a work-at-home mom making over $15,000 a month. I have thousands of people I've taught these systems to that make money. And so I know they work. If they didn't work, I wouldn't offer the $50,000 guarantee on it. Here's the way it works. If you follow my system for the next 12 months, and at the end of that 12 months, if you don't make $50,000, I will return your money 100%. That's how sure that I am that everything works the way I say it's going to work. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't offer that. It makes no sense for me to do that. Here's what you get. The generated software, the product creation workshop, IBG live workshop, the guarantee, everything is $29.97. But also, the first 20 people get involved in my apprentice program. First of all, you can't hire me. I can't be bought necessarily. Well, maybe. For me, for another pair of these Boss jeans, but but I charge $1,000 to $5,000 an hour to talk with people on the phone and consult with them. $1,000 if you just want general consultation. $5,000 if you want me to talk about search engine marketing. And that's how I normally do it, and people pay me for it. I have a platinum class that I charge $16,000 a year for, that people pay that. And we've got about almost 500 people, almost 200 people in that class now, that in our gold class. I don't accept any new clients, but my apprentice program works this way, is that we joint venture together. Now, a lot of what I told you today is just a small bit of what you can do on the internet. There's a lot more that I can share, and we're going to talk about this afternoon, where we're actually going to make a product live on stage. And I'm going to give you guys all that product. Is that fair? Is that good? Okay. So this afternoon, but what we're going to do is we're going to joint venture together, though, in this program one-on-one. And where you can call me up, and all you have to do is say, okay, here's the idea that I have, and I'm going to tell you it sucks. No, or I'm going to tell you it's awesome. I think it's a great idea. You should go with it. I consult with you one-on-one with the project, and I consult with you on the website. I consult with you on your advertising, so you don't make mistakes on the advertising. And we split the profits. Is that good? Here's the split. 90% you, 10% me. Is that fair? Okay, that's how it works out. So you can't get that. The only time I offer this is actually during when I talk to people in public at seminars. So here's what to do next. Run to the back table. Oh, wait. Wrong direction, though. The forms are up here. So here's the forms here. So grab one of those forms, fill it out. Fill out an order form. And here's what you need to write on this order form. Armin Morin's 21st IBG offer. Write that down. Hand it to me. I say hand it to the back table, but hand it to me once you're finished. And then come to the front of the room. You got to fill this out. Fill in everything. Fill in everything on the form. Everything on the form. Come to the front of the room. I'm taking all the people that sign up today to lunch with me, and we're going to talk about something else. And what I'm going to teach you during lunch is my secret 2-minute product creation technique that I haven't talked about. I'm going to go into total detail on this, and then we're going to do that all during lunch. So again, what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a break for 1 hour. Is that correct? 1 hour. You're going to take a break. Right now it's, what time is it now? 2 o'clock? It's 2 o'clock now. Be back at 3 o'clock. We're going to start back up at 3 o'clock. Thank you again. My name's Armin Morin. Those of you that fill out the form, come up to the front of the stage. Thank you.